roof system for the shed consists of simple, site-made trusses held together with OSB gussets.
All right, now that we built all the walls, all right, now we're going to take a step back. Before I built the walls, I actually used the floor deck to lay out the roof. Instead of using regular rafters and a regular ridge, we built roof trusses. I used the floor deck to snap out the lines because it's a much easier method of snapping it out full-length pictures and then building the trusses right in place there on the floor deck. So front to back is 8 feet. So that's what this represents. From one side to the other, one wall to the other, we have 8 feet. From the outside edge of that wall framing to the outside edge of this, we have 8 feet. And this is the top of the wall. So on top of that, we put a roof truss. We're going to overhang the soffits 6 inches. Because if we made it 12 inches like the house, it wouldn't be in proportion with the shed. So we want to keep the same details, but shrink them down to have the right proportion. So we're making the overhang 6 inches. So 6 inches from the outside of the wall to the front of the overhang. So this wall is actually this wall right here. What we want to do is mark the center. It's an 8-foot wall plus 6 inches on both sides, gives you 9 feet overall. Half of that, which is the center of the roof, 4.5 feet. And then what I'm going to do is just make another mark up here, 4 or 5 feet away, doesn't really matter, the same distance, 4 feet, 6 inches. And then just draw a reference line. And this is the center of the building and the center of the roof. For the slope of the roof, or some people call it the pitch, we're going to use an 8 pitch here. And what that means, an 8 pitch or an 8 slope, means that for every foot I come in, I'm going to go 8 inches up. We know we're going 4.5 feet in to the center. And go up 8 inches, there's 1 foot. 16, there's 2 foot. 24, there's 3 foot. 32, there's 4 feet. And then the half foot equals 4 inches, which is right there. Okay, now we have our top measurement here. This is the top of the roof. And we want the other top of the roof to fall right on top of the cord there. Yep, just like that. Because all these marks we're making is to the outside of the roof. And then the other side. So now you can see the 3 pieces that we need to build the truss. We have the bottom cord, and then we have 2 top cords. One on this side, an identical one on that side, that we have to cut out a 2x4 stock. What I need to do is get these 2 angles, this one down here and this one at the top, so that we can cut this top cord out. A couple of different ways to do that is we know this is an 8 pitch or an 8 slope. And on all of these speed squares, you see a bunch of numbers here. No matter what type you get, they're all laid out the same. I'll use this one because it's a little easier to read. So it's the same thing. We're looking along this edge right here of the top, and we're going to dial it up till we hit the 8, the inside 8, the outside 8, not the inside here. That's for hip or valley. We're going with the outside numbers. That would be it. Another way is using a sliding T-bevel. That way you don't even have to look at any numbers. And all you do is hold it up against the lines, move it until you get the correct angle, tighten it up, and there's the angle for the top. Okay, long point to long point, the outside edge of the rafter or the top cord of the truss. Much better. We're going to use a plywood gusset to nail the truss together. So I'm just going over at least a couple inches past the inside of the wall. Match the bottom edge here, mark the top, but I'm going to mark it down about 1/4 because I don't want it coming up above the top. Again, the same thing here, down about 1/4 of an inch. Draw that. Bring this line all the way up. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's just a connection system. So we'll cut that. Go about 8 inches, 8 to 10 inches on either side. Yep, that works. So we'll nail that together, put the two end ones on, and we have a truss. The only difference between a gable end truss and a regular truss is that the gable end trusses sit on the gable end wall on each end. And because they sit on the end wall, the sheathing goes up. We have this big gap with nothing to nail to. So we're going to put in little uprights in here so the sheathing can be nailed to it. All the trusses inside don't need that. Once the sheathing comes up, 1/2 inch OSB in this case, and we nail the whole thing together, that's what really ties it together and makes it strong.
On this shed, we are using 2 methods to build the gable end walls, for no other reason than to show you 2 methods I'm most likely to use. When you build your shed, you want to pick one method and use it on both gable ends. If you use a truss to make up the gable, you'll have to add blocking to fasten your wall sheathing. After I build the trusses, I set them aside until I'm ready for them. For this shed, we spaced the trusses 2 feet on center. We marked the layout directly on the top plate, then brought the trusses in.
Am I moving along the back wall and nailing these with you?
Oh, I think I can do this with you just staying down there.
Okay.
We will find out.
Do you want me to set a couple of nails in across the back?
You know what, just for now, go up on the ladder and hold this.
As we install the trusses, we use a long piece of 1x with the 2 foot on center layout marked on it. Then we nail it to the gable end and use it to hold and space each truss in place.
Right there. Good.
For now, we secure the trusses by toe-nailing them in place. Later, we'll add hurricane clips to satisfy our local code.
Yep, I'll wait for you to get in. Just put it in position. It's got to go down. Yep. Oh.
We keep the gable end truss flush with the framing to ensure the sheathing remains in plane.
All right. Okay, we got the roof trusses up. We just have to do some adjusting here and there, take some measurements, make sure they're nice and plumb. Then we're going to put the roof sheathing down.
To ensure that the roof sheathing splits on a truss, measure back from the rake trim to the center of the top core. Also, remember to stagger the seams as you did with the floor framing.
I can spin it around.
You want spinning around?
No, I can spin it around if I have to. Got it.
The roof sheathing we are using for this project has a tongue and groove system that keeps the edges aligned without the need for roof or H-clips.
How will those designers ever know how to brace the gable if we don't show them how to do it now? Nail this down to the floor once we get it in position.
Let's overkill it. It's got to go more.
Uh-huh. All right. Now we got to get serious here. Is that working?
It is. Oh, hold on. That looks sweet.
Unlike the floor, adhesive is not necessary for the roof sheathing.
You guys are making me nervous.